as if I somehow had that in my head and didn't know. And the epigraph is from that same poem of Wallace Stevens. Plain men in plain towns are not precise about the appeasement they need. And it's a poem sort of about a poetry reading or going off to give a reading. I arrive in Ballybunion with time to kill, never having been in this town before, here to give a reading at the local library, a little hungry, a load of dirty laundry in the boot of my low on petrol rental car. I find the laundrette, drop off my clothes, head out to sit on a sunny cliff where waves curl calmly shoreward in the sun. Out at Ballybunion Castle, I read the plaque that tells me the Geraldines built this edifice back in the 1300s. Tells me, too, since then it's changed hands more than once. I grab a bench, sit and watch as workers, golfers, tourists, businessmen dressed in three-piece suits drift by or linger, glance at me, move on. Until an old man, red-faced, white-haired, spittle glistening on chapped lips, a dirty tan trench coat a size or three too large, wrapped tight around him, heads my way. He stops near the bench, gives me the eye, and sits down at the other end and asks, "So, where are you from yourself?" So much for blending in with the locals, I think. Let's say aloud, Los Angeles, LA. Hollywood, he says, sounding half pleased and half scandalized at the same time. What's it like there? What's all them movie stars like? I glance at him and smile. I don't see much of them, I say. At which, looking disappointed, he turns away. They're all hiding in their fancy houses, I add, as if I somehow needed to explain. Up in the room with a woman, he declares, facing the sea, anger shaking his frame. Something like that, I say, not wanting to exacerbate his condition, whatever it is. He pivots toward me. What time is it now? 1:45, I say, trying to hide my pricey watch from view beneath my sleeve. The news on RTE, he informs me then. Do you like the Irish news? Wondering which answer's best, I say, doubtfully, I do. It's good, isn't it, he says, to my deep relief. But a moment later, he's half ordering, half coaxing me. Go now into one of the pubs and tell them you need to watch the news. I will, thanks, I reply, agreeable to a fault. Standing up, he starts away, turns back. Goodbye now, he says, as if scolding himself, or me, for failing to observe the formalities. Before I can answer, he asks, how long were you here? In town, I ask, or in Ireland, do you mean? Here, he repeats, as if to some simpleton. Here in this town, I say, well, just today. He moves in closer now, stares hard. Where else have you been? In Ireland, I ask, well, Dublin, Donegal, Galway, Limerick, Dingle, moving fast. He sits again, too close, then moves in closer, seizes my forearm confidentially. A beautiful place, Ballybunion, he says. Natural beauty. The men in suits pass by again, this time clutching clipboards, decision makers on a weighty mission. Men building their buildings, he grasps, and building men only muck it up, a natural setting. The suits afford him and me a quick, judgmental glance as they head toward the castle. When I was a boy, some boys I knew was throwing things at the workers, he says, his grip tightening on my arm. Almost caught we was, my friends and me. Moving still closer now, gripping tighter still. Men and golf, he hisses, looking after the suits. Men up in their rooms with a girl. Have you ever been up in your room with a girl? He asks accusingly. Yet when I turn to answer, there's a leer on his ruddy lips, lust lighting up his bloodshot eyes. Some tourists pass by the bench, looking faintly alarmed. What's the right answer, I wonder? I have indeed been in rooms with girls, but not here, in Ballybunion, I mean. Releasing my arm, he rises, lingers, lurches a bit as he goes, looks back. It's a fine day, he says. A fine day. It is, I confirm, and watch as he wanders slowly down the road. When I think he's gone far enough away, I rise, in turn, take a last look at the ruined castle, and then at the water below, thinking how many storms must have battered this beach, how many old men have moved at this edge of the world down so many centuries, how many ruins litter this lovely coast. Heading for the reading, the library, I glance back at the bench, knowing it too must have changed hands many times over the years, knowing as well I'll be gone from Ballybunion, most likely forever. Clothes clean, petrol tank and belly full, when the dazzling sun slips behind a crumbling castle wall and disappears into the swirling sea.